The Celtic Forever podcast. Brilliant. It's the joy of my life.
Hello again, folks, and a warm welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. I'm Xander, and we have John here to go through all the latest Celtic rumours, gossip, any wee snippets of news, anything happening at Celtic at all, we'll talk about it. Let's say hello to John. How are you, John?
I'm alright. Just enjoying the nice summer weather, the day, scorching, boiling hot.
Yeah, the summer's returned, hasn't it? A wee bit of temporary sunshine. We thought it was finished 2 weeks ago, but it's came back a wee bit, but I think the forecast isn't too great for the next few days, John. I'm in Glasgow just now, and it's actually clouding over just now, but no, the summer's returned and it's nice to see it, John, so it puts a wee smile on people's faces. But John, let's get into the Celtic stuff. Let's get right into it, but it is mainly, as I say, John, just gossip and rumours, because there isn't anything really happening in Scottish football at all, really. Is there? I know we had the Scotland game the other night, convincing 4-0 win for Scotland, but that's the football now finished until the pre-season starts, John, so no really much happening at all. No transfers in and out of any club, really. Not much to speak of, John, but we'll go through the gossip and rumours like we do anyway, John, because that's all we can really do just now, isn't it?
Aye, well, we've got the League Cup playoffs. They start on the 12th of July, along with some other stuff.
Yeah, that's party time. No, John, that's it. The League Cup, we have got that, I suppose. It's something to listen to or watch, isn't it? The early rounds of the League Cup. And John, you were asking the other day why we were playing Newcastle, you remember? And we thought maybe it was a testimonial or something like that. But it isn't, John, isn't it? It is just a friendly. But the reason why the clubs that are clashing is very simple. Celtic won the League Cup in Scotland and Newcastle won the League Cup in England, so they thought it was a good idea to put the two teams together in a friendly, John. So what do you think of that?
Alright, well, I never knew that. The reason I thought it was a testimonial was because Alan Shearer was talking about why he chose Celtic for his testimonial. And then I thought about it and I thought, hang on, he must be late 50s. His testimonial's long gone. So he must have been talking about playing Celtic in his testimonial years ago. I can't remember it, to be honest with you, but there you go.
Yeah, that's it, John. But that's the reason. Both teams have won the country's League Cups, so that's why they've put the two of them together in a wee bit of a glamour friendly at Celtic Park in July. Right, John, let's get into it then. There's always rumours, there is always rumours, but some of these rumours are stronger than others. Some are pretty close to getting over the line, but as it stands, it is just rumours and gossip just now, John. So let's get right into it. Who will we start with, John? Lennon Miller. We'll start with Lennon. He's linked with Celtic again. Motherwell looking for £4 million for the player, John. $4 million. Celtic have reignited their interest in Lennon Miller, John. He obviously played for Scotland the other night in the 4-0 win against Liechtenstein. He's played well, apparently, Lennon Miller. But John, what do you think of that? Celtic relighting the interest in Lennon Miller?
I could play well against Liechtenstein, Sander. You know what I mean? They're absolute guff. That's nothing to go by. And I watched him. Did he play an Iceland game? I can't remember. But I watched that Iceland game as well. Scotland getting beat by Iceland. Absolute shocking, to be honest with you. But Lennon Miller, what I've always says, every time I hear him getting mentioned with Celtic, it reminds me of David Turnbull, because I don't think he's much better than David Turnbull, to be honest with you. I don't know what all the raving about this boy is. What I've seen so far, he's a half decent wee player, what does my opinion matter? I'm just going by what I've seen. I don't watch Lennon Miller every single week, but when I have seen him, I've not been overly impressed, to be honest with you. It just keeps reminding me of the David Turnbull deal, and that's what it reminds me of. Sorry, anybody that's a Lennon Miller fan and watches Lennon Miller, but that's what it reminds me of, David Turnbull.
Yeah, well, we certainly don't want another David Turnbull, John, that's for sure. Nothing against Turnbull, he's at a certain level, isn't he? But he's not quite at Celtic level. But we want Lennon Miller, if he does indeed sign to come in at Celtic level, John. You know, we want them to be ready to play in the Celtic first team. That's why the Celtic manager is interested in Lennon Miller, John. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I've not seen much of the boy myself, John. He didn't play against Iceland, by the way. He didn't play in that game. He did play in the route of Liechtenstein. So Celtic have reignited the interest in this boy anyway, John. So we'll wait and see what happens over the next week or two, because this is quite a serious interest. Celtic are looking at this boy from Motherwell, John. So Stephen Craigie might not get his wish, wanting him to play abroad.
Well, it must be good if Celtic have shown that much interest in him, but they say that about Turnbull as well, and that's why it keeps reminding me of that, because he was getting touted as an exceptional talent. I just thought David Turnbull was crap. I'll just come out and say it. I thought he was utter guff. He scored the odd goal, nice goal now and again, but he was utter guff, let's be honest. David Turnbull, nowhere near Celtic quality. But I think Milky Naismith, I think he's trying to deter Miller from moving to Celtic. Maybe that says it all, you know. A lot of these ex-Rangers and Rangers fans and that, they try to deter the boy from moving to Celtic. So maybe that says something about him. Like I says, I don't watch him every week. So I'm just saying what I've seen of him so far. I've not been overly impressed, but I don't watch a whole lot of Motherwell or Scotland for that matter.
Yeah, but I've not seen any Lennon either, John. But he is a good Celtic man. Know that goes for anything. He is a Celtic supporter, the boy. So as you say, John, Celtic are interested in him for a reason, as you say as well. All these ex-Rangers players, pundits, blah blah blah, try to deter him from going to Celtic, John. Try to get him to play abroad, etc., John. So we'll wait and see, John. We'll wait and see what happens with interest in Lennon Miller, John. We'll wait and see. Moving on, John. Let's move right on, because there's a few more that are actually quite close. The Celtic have opened transfer talks, John, for Balikwisha. We mentioned him last season, didn't we? Balikwisha. Celtic went in for him in January. Didn't quite happen, but they've opened interest again in Balikwisha, John. The left winger can play right wing as well, John. So he can play in either side, which is a bonus, I suppose. So Balikwisha, John, Celtic talking personal terms with the player just now, apparently. So this one looks as though it's quite close.
Well, never heard him. I don't even remember talking about him on here. So I need to look him up and see what he's all about. But look, we're getting linked with all sorts of wingers, and Celtic are looking at bringing in fresh wingers. There must be somebody on their way out. And saying that, we do need. I don't think Nicholas Kuhn. I don't think he's going to be at Celtic. I think he'll move on. Dyson. A lot of clubs sniffing about him, isn't there? So if any of them go, that takes a winger away, and we're left with Jota, Yang, James Forrest, and Lewis Palmer. He'll probably end up back at Celtic. Don't know. Wait and see.
Yeah, and half of them are injured, John, so you can understand why we are looking at wingers just now. The Balikwisha Royal Antwerp player, John, he scored a barrel load of goals, playing really well, apparently, just now. So, that's why we're looking at players like this, John. So, I think we do need wingers in at the club, John. And if this guy is anything to go by what they're talking about, John, if he's anything like what they're saying, then snap him up, get him in, and we can see what he can do, John. Because we'd never heard of players like Nicholas Kuhn either, We'd never heard of Dyson Meader before he came to Celtic, son. So these players, Celtic have got good coaches out there, John, good scouts, looking at these players. So Celtic don't waste their money that often nowadays, John. I know back in the day we were spending £2, £3, £4 million on players that done absolutely nothing. You remember that? It was every signing we made was absolute dross. We had to try and get rid of them, get them out on loan, etc. But over the last couple of years, John, I think the signings have been the quality's been a wee bit better.
I think Ange certainly brought in a lot of quality. I can just leave it there. I'm just saying that. I think Ange brought in a lot of quality to Celtic, and they've carried Celtic for the last few seasons. Under Ange's signings. That's all I can say on that.
Yeah, well, all the Ange's signings were top class, weren't they? There was still one or two. You always get one or two that slip through the net, end up at the club and don't get a game. You're always going to get that, John. But no, I think we're looking at quality players here, John. But John Kieran obviously has his injury concerns. In fact, I think he's injured right now. So So nothing changes there, John. We just want Celtic to get Kieran onto that, training field, get him built up, John, a wee bit. Stop these stupid wee injuries, John. Get his muscles built up. Get the physios looking at him, John. Get him to play at least 30, 35 games a season. That's what we're looking for.
Aye, he's top quality, Kieran Tierney, we know that. But like the injuries thing is, I mean, I know a lot of Celtic fans are delighted to see him back, but how long have I been saying it? I didn't want Kieran Tierney back. How long have I been saying that?
Yeah, you've been saying it for a while, John, but obviously things have moved now. Greg's away, more or less now, John. Schlupp doesn't look as though he's signing, so we need left backs in, so he's a top quality left back, John. What I'm saying is, and like you're saying as well, is, John, we need him to be injury free. We need him to have a season injury free, John. These spaghetti legs are no use. We need him to bulk up, strengthen up, and hopefully go through the season with minimal injuries.
That's not going to happen. I just think it was a bad move bringing him back because of that. And look, he's a top quality left back. Celtic fans all love him. But you've got to look at the bigger picture here. How often are you going to see Celtic fielding Kieran Tierney because of his injury problems? There's going to be spells of weeks and weeks of him being out injured, and we're going to have to. You're all looking forward to him coming back. And then he comes back and he's injured again. He's one of the players. Like that's the way he is. And I must be the only Celtic fan that thinks it's a bad move bringing him back. Love Kieran Tierney right enough, but because of that, I must be the only Celtic fan I don't know that thinks it's a mistake bringing him back. Although it's a free transfer right enough, and it's free, but yeah, he'll be on a handsome wage there, Xander.
Of course he will, John. Of course he will. He'll be on at least 25, possibly £1,000 a week at Celtic. But I had a wee look at his last 2 seasons, John, the games he's played. The season just finished there. He made 20 appearances, and it wasn't the injuries that caused it, John. It was Arteta not picking him in the team. So he went through the season there, more or less injury free. I think there was 1 or 2 small injuries. He was out for maybe a week or whatever, John. But it was more or less him not getting picked, John, for Arsenal. I think there was 1 or 2 injuries, but nothing too serious. And the season before that, John, it was more or less injury free. He played 35 games for Arsenal the season before that. So that's the type of thing we're looking for, isn't it? The season before, where he played 35 games for Arsenal and went through the whole season more or less injury free.
Aye, but look, we can only hope he's over the worst of getting injuries. But like he says the other night, he's missing for Scotland because he's injured. I don't know what to say on it. It's just, it worries me that we've signed a player that's notoriously known for being injured all the time. Even though he played 35 games for Arsenal, maybe he is over the worst of the injuries. These things do happen. Players do get injuries now and again. But Kieran was ridden with them, injuries, and we can only hope he's over the worst and proved wrong and he's over it, and we get to see that 30 games, at least 30 games a season, and I'll be happy. Look, I'm glad he's there because he is quality, but how long is he going to stay injury free playing in Scotland, playing on plastic pitches and all that stuff, and playing against hammer throwers? It's worrying, but look, we can only hope he's over the worst. I don't want it to sound like gloom and doom, because we all love Kieran Tierney and we just want him to stay injury free, and let's hope it starts with his move to Celtic, Xander.
Yeah, okay. Right, John, fair dues. Fair enough. Good luck to Kieran in his return to Glasgow Celtic. Right, John, we'll move on. We're looking at a third choice goalkeeper as well, John. Obviously, Scott Bain, he's left the club. We all know that. But Ross Doohan, Aberdeen goalkeeper, John, we're looking at him as a third choice goalkeeper. I think he's 32, Ross, just now. Decent goalkeeper, the big man, isn't he, Ross Doohan? Pulls off some decent saves, but he would be a third choice goalkeeper for Celtic, John. So, what do you think of that? I think you've seen quite a wee bit of Ross Doohan, haven't you? I've seen him a wee bit. I've seen Aberdeen quite a lot. Watching him against Rangers, watching him against Celtic. Pulls off some decent saves. Third choice, John, what do you think? I think it's a good move if we sign Ross Doohan, actually.
I don't remember much of him. He's never been a number one at Aberdeen. What I mean by that is he's never been first choice keeper. So I know the keeper, but he's never been first choice at Aberdeen. But I think it's just to keep up the Scottish contingent for Europe, Xander, that signing.
Yeah, he'll be behind Sinisalo and obviously Casper, John, so he'll be third choice. But anytime I've seen him, John, he's been good. He's supposed to have some good saves. He's 32, 33 now, John, so he's got that experience as well. But as I say, John, it's third choice, and we do need a third choice keeper, so I think it would be a good signing if we get him.
Aye, well, we'll wait and see. There is a lot of good goalkeepers in Scotland. Ross Doohan, he's no one I ever thought would be linked to Celtic, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Right, okay, John. Oh, rumour. It's never ending. Thank goodness there's rumours, John, because we wouldn't be doing a podcast because we've nothing to talk about, to be honest with you. No football, the season's ended. Obviously, we're looking forward to the pre-season games starting. So we've got these rumours to talk about, John, which is quite good. It gives us something to talk about. Some are realistic, some are not. Obviously, let's continue. And this one, I think, is quite realistic, John. This Callum Osmond, John, I know nobody's ever heard of him, but he's just a 19-year-old kid, John, playing for Fulham B, John, but he's banging in the goals. He scored over 30 goals for Fulham B, scored a hat-trick in the England Youth Cup final as well, John, against Tottenham, banged in a wee hat-trick, John. So we're looking at this young lad. I don't know where he would play in the team, John. Would it be starting games, if he would be on the bench, or even if he wouldn't be in the first team, John? I'm not too sure. But we're looking at Callum Osmond anyway, John. 19-year-old centre forward, banging in the goals, right, left and centre for Fulham's B team, John. It doesn't say much for our strikers and our B team, John, does it? If we're looking at players like Callum Osmond, he must be really good.
He must be. I mean, I've heard a lot about him. Heard that rumour a lot. I thought he'd officially signed. He's not officially signed yet, no?
Not yet, John. Not yet. But as we speak, anyway, John, I know this is another ongoing rumour, if you like, but it is something, John, that Celtic are looking at, but he's not actually officially signed yet, John. Not that I know of, anyway. I just checked 5 minutes ago, John. He's not officially signed yet, but he is a player Brendan's really interested in.
All right. Well, again, we can only wait and see if he comes to Celtic or not. Again, I don't know anything about the boy, but he does come with a good reputation. So, we look forward to seeing how that one develops, eh?
Yeah, definitely, John. I think, where do you think you would fit in, though, at Celtic? We've obviously got the big man there, Big Ida there, John. We've obviously got Johnny Kenny as well, but we do need strikers in at the club, John. We really do need strikers, so I don't think this is the big signing that the Celtic fans are looking for. Definitely not. I think there'll still be another forward or two, striker or two coming into the club, John. So I think this is maybe just something for the future, possibly.
Aye, well, Celtic always bring in players like that, projects for the future, but do you never see any of them ever developing and making it at Celtic? You just don't see it. They sign them and then they move them on. That's just the way it is. That's the Celtic policy, innit? Sign these youngsters, maybe keep them for a couple of years, nothing happens, move them on, make a couple of quid out of it. That's just the way Celtic are. It could even possibly just move on for a free transfer, sitting in the stand or playing for the under 21s or whatever, Celtic reserves. But this boy seems like he carries a lot of weight here. He's big potential, and that's why Celtic are looking at this one. I think they'll get it over the line.
Yeah, well, the latest on it, John, is I just checked there, is he has agreed personal terms, John. So not quite over the line, but 95% there, John. So within the next day or two, he'll be announced as a Celtic player. All right, John, that's it. Good luck to him if he does indeed sign for the Champions, John. We'll move on. I didn't speak to you. I texted you about this one the other day, John. I wasn't for it. You were only too bad about it. Big Chris Ayer linked to Celtic, John. This is just a rumour, right? But it's floating about there. It is in some reports here and there, John. Big Chris Ayer, John, the big centre half, can play midfield as well. I don't know. When I think of Chris Ayer, I think of the COVID season. Right, it's not his fault we didn't win the league that season, but he did play in every game. The big man. He did score the winner in the Scottish Cup final against Hearts, didn't he, for the quadruple treble, John? So he's got that to his name. But big Chris Ayer, John, coming back. Is he any better than Scales? Is he any better than Carter Vickers? Is he any better than Narocki, John? I don't know. What do you think? What's your thoughts, buddy?
I like him, as you know, but I prefer him in the centre of the park. I remember saying to you years ago that him in the centre of the park as a captain would be absolutely brilliant, because he was absolutely solid in the centre of the park. He wins everything. He gets forward, he drives forward. He's amazing in the centre of the park, and yet he was constantly getting played at centre half. I wasn't understanding that, because he's a better midfielder than he is a centre half. That's my opinion on Christopher Ayer. If he was to play in the centre of the park beside Callum McGregor, I think they would be outstanding together, Sander. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. A little bit in there. I know what you're saying, John. He does play well in midfield, but I think Brendan will be looking at him as a centre half, John. I don't know. I actually don't know. I've not got a clue what Brendan's thinking, if he is indeed even looking at this player, Christopher Ayer, John. I would imagine that it would be a free transfer, John, because we wouldn't be able to afford Chris Ayer in a fee, if you like. I don't think we could afford 15-20 million for big Chris Ayer. So he must be a free agent, John. I'm not too sure. I didn't even look too much into it because it's just a rumour. But no, I'd like to see him in defence if he's going to be playing anywhere, John. So I sort of slightly disagree with you there, but he is a decent, maybe he is looking at him as cover in that holding role for when Callum needs a rest or is suspended, etc., John, because I've not got another central defensive midfielder in there. So maybe that would be, possibly throw him in there if Callum's suspended or injured, John.
Possibly. I think him beside Callum would be outstanding. I think that would be a solid midfield. And I'm just looking at him. He's only 27. He's just turned 27 in April. Yeah. I thought he was older than that. But there you go. No, he's only 27 years old, Christopher Ayer. I would welcome a move back for him, Xander. I like him, but as a defender, no so much. Centre of the park. He's a good defender as well. But like he says, is he better than Narocki or what's the other boy, Liam Scales? I would say he's up there beside them. But I would like all day. I would welcome Christopher Ayer back. I like him, but preferably for me, centre of the park. He'd be outstanding in there. But again, it's just rumours, and I can't see Chris Ayer coming back to Celtic. Just can't see it. Yeah,
and we've also still got Big Trusty there as well, haven't we? So there's still players to leave.
Unfortunately, aye.
You're going to say that. No, there's still got players to leave. That's what I was going to say, John. Nobody's left the club yet. That's apart from Greg Taylor, and that's not even over the line yet, John. So there is going to be a bit of a clear out also, John. So that's still to happen. As the early days, the season's just finished. So we'll move on, John. Big Chris Ayer. If he comes, he comes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. We'll wait and see what happens with that. Kyogo, John, another one that's hitting the headlines again. He's not been picked for the Rennes 30-man squad, John, for the close season fixtures, John. He's not been picked for that. So he's more or less at a dead end, Kyogo. He's not getting picked. The manager just doesn't like him, does he? There is rumours that Celtic are looking at him again, John, a cut price deal. We got 10 million for him originally. We're looking at getting him for maybe £2 or £3 million, John. I mean, if that happens, John, and I'm not saying it is going to happen, but if it does happen, what a tremendous bit of business, and it would be absolutely tremendous to see the wee man back at Celtic Park.
Aye. He just wasn't cutting it at Celtic either for the last few months of his career at Celtic. Missing a lot of sitters and all that, but I don't know if I would welcome Kyogo back, Xander, but what he does offer is that closing down ability really fast. I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 with that one, Xander. I'm no sold on that return, to be honest with you.
Yeah, as I say, John, it is just rumour, gossip. But we can talk about rumour and gossip because everybody else does, John. I'd take him in a heartbeat, to be honest with you. There you go. You can imagine we Kyogo in that Scottish Cup final there. I'm going to bring it up again. But can you imagine in that final, shutting down John, no giving him a second? It just didn't happen in the final. So we've missed that. We've sort of missed that phase left, to be honest with you, that closing down 100 mile an hour stuff. And he does give you that, John. And he's also got a brilliant finish as well. I know he was off form just before he left, John. And now he's in no man's land at range, John. So, no, if it was to happen, I'd welcome it with open arms, John. Even if it's just coming off the bench, etc., I would welcome that, John.
Well, I'm 50-50 on it. I don't know if I would welcome it or not. I really don't know, but I know I keep sounding like doom and gloom, but there's a lot of these players that Lennon Miller and Kyogo and all that. I don't know enough about Lennon Miller. I haven't seen enough of him, except when Celtic are playing Motherwell or Scotland. But Kyogo, we all know all about Kyogo, and we know about his shutting down abilities and all that. But I don't know. I'm no sold on it, Xander. I'm 50-50, and I might change my mind once he puts pen to paper. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. All right, that wraps it up for the rumours then. That's it. That's quite a wee bit there, John. A lot of players linked to Celtic just now. Some are close, some are not. We'll wait and see what happens during the summer, folks. We'll just wait and see what happens over the next few days, in fact, for most of these rumours. We'll wait and see. Right, John, the wee bits of news. No much, actually. The Celtic Park surface, John, has been ripped up. Don't know if you saw that. They're putting down a new hybrid surface, John, and a nice new hybrid surface. I think it's half grass and wee bits of plastic through it as well, isn't it? So it'll last through the winter. But they've ripped up the old one, John. They're replacing the new one. It's going to be absolutely standard. Nice new surface for Newcastle coming to Celtic Park, John. What do you think of that?
We always welcome a good playing surface. We know Celtic like to zip the ball about on a nice surface. I think Brendan Rodgers was a big pioneer for that a few years ago when he was here the last time. Celtic did get a new surface, but it seemed to be eaten up hell of a quick. And I mean, it is a good surface at Celtic Park just now, but it could be better. I've seen the parks in Scotland in better condition than Celtic Park in the winter time, so it can't be that good, even although Celtic paid a lot of money for the current surface. It never lived up to Brendan's expectations.
Yeah, that's right. I remember it cutting up quite bad, didn't it? But that's that, John. New one getting put in right now as we speak. A lot of work getting done round about Celtic Park just now. Just wee upgrades here and there, John. This things getting done. The banners at the side of the stadium as well. Some of them getting replaced and put back up again. The ones that fell during the winter storms, etc. John, that's all getting done just now. A wee word on the injuries, John. The three injuries that we've got just now. Jota, he'll be back mid-December, round about then, John. His recovery's going well. Rio Hatate, he should be back for the start of the pre-season. Which, John, I think is tremendous news because the fact that he's injured means they're not going to get many clubs coming in for Rio Hatate. So hopefully he's going to stay at Celtic for next season, and he's going to be back for the close season, the pre-season as well, John. He's going to be back for that. I thought he's going to be a wee bit longer, John, to be honest with you, but it looks as though he's going to be back for these pre-season games starting.
And well, let's hope. I mean, Rio Hatate, he does get linked with clubs, but he can only look at his pal Kyogo and see the turmoil that he's in after leaving Celtic. Like I keep saying, if you're at a club that makes you happy, don't bother looking for being the next megastar, because it's not going to happen when you're a Celtic player, you know, unless you're Virgil van Dijk, of course.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's not going to happen with players like Rio Hatate. You know, just stay at Celtic. You're on a good wage. You're on a wages that's going to last you the rest of your life, keep you in a luxurious life. You're playing in front of fans that love you, great crowd. You're playing in the Champions League most seasons, Europe every season. You're winning trophies. Why move? Stay there and stay where you're loved. And Kyogo's learned that lesson it's not all about glamour and all that stuff, you know. Rennes, I mean, I'm leaving a big club. Why move there? I know obviously it was to try and enhance his chances of getting into the Japanese national team, but it's done absolutely nothing for him. Stay where you're loved. A massive club like Celtic, world renowned, but no, instead I'll move to Rennes where it just makes me sick, that.
Yeah, that's it, John. He's went to get into that national team and it's backfired on him quite badly, actually. He doesn't get a game. He's not even been picked for Rennes pre-season, and he's not getting anywhere near the Japan team. So, good point there, John. Actually, Rio should have a look at what's happened to Kyogo and stay put. And I think he will stay put anyway, John. That's my personal thought. Obviously, he picked up that calf muscle tear, John. And it looked quite bad. It looked worse than it did. In the league title celebrations, he was in his crutches, wasn't he? It looked quite bad. But no, he's going to be back for the pre-season starting, John, which I think is tremendous news for us. The only other one was James Forrest, John. There's no news on when he's going to be back to full recovery, because obviously James is that wee bit older. It takes a wee bit longer to recover from these injuries, but there's absolutely nothing anywhere, John, on the timescale of James Forrest's injury. But I'm just hoping he's back for the pre-season as well.
Well, let's hope so. James is a wee legend, isn't he? But it's weird that you don't hear anything about guys like James Forrest with their injuries and updates and stuff. Maybe because of his age. Maybe that plays a part, because he's more or less a bit part player. Maybe that's why you don't hear so much, Sander.
Yeah, that's it. It's because his age as well, John. It's maybe they don't know when he's going to be fully recovered, John. Maybe it's something to do with that. But you've got to remember it was quite a nasty injury he picked up, wasn't it? So no, I think he'll be okay for the start of the close season, and I really do, because he's a good player just now, James, isn't he? I mean, look at the last 9-10 games of the season there, John. He was absolutely brilliant for Celtic, and he was unlucky, John, in the Scottish Cup final. Came off injured. We don't know what would have happened in that game, to be honest with you, if he'd have stayed on the park. But John, no, we just want him fit and ready for this pre-season, because he's as good as any winger we've got there just now, John.
He's brilliant, Aberdeen are good at injuring our players,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, I know, John. It's I said when Rio picked up his injury, it was an injury with intent, John. I did say that. You said it as well. For Rio, our best player, our most dynamic player, to be out the Scottish Cup final, and it was going to backfire on us, or it could backfire on us, John, and it did. I'm not sitting here saying that if Rio would have played in that cup final, we would have won it, but it certainly didn't help matters, did it?
No, it didn't help anything at all. I don't think it would have made a jot of difference in the final against Aberdeen. It's really Scottish Cup winners, Aberdeen, sorry.
That's right. I think that'd be 40 the other day, John, with the Celtic, the Aberdeen, Scottish Cup winners, Aberdeen, from the Daily Record, John. It's absolutely everywhere, honestly. It really is.
They're Scottish Cup winners.
About 18 months ago.
Scottish Cup FC.
I know. But John, sorry, there you go.
No, it was just what you were saying on Aberdeen and the Rio Hatate incident. Of course, it was intent. They used rough house of tactics on Celtic players, of rough hand tactics on Celtic players that they're robust, to say the least. That guy should have been sent off for that tackle, and absolutely nothing happened to him. But we'll need to keep an eye on them next season, Aberdeen. And the good thing about that final, the only good thing Celtic took at that final, was the Celtic fans are fully aware. Who was the boy that injured him again? Can't remember his name. But he got booed off the park, didn't he?
Yeah, that's Hampden, didn't he? The Celtic fans let him know, Papagayi, they let him know exactly what they thought about him, John.
And that says it all. Every Celtic fan knows that was a brutal challenge on Rio Hatate, right through him. I can't believe nothing happened to him for that. But there you go. The Celtic fans know it. Everybody knows it. So why was he no sent off? That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, that is the big question, John. But it doesn't matter, John. It's gone now. It's well and truly gone now, isn't it? Scottish Cup winners Aberdeen. They've got the cup, John. I've got a wee loan of it for a wee year, John. That's not a problem. These things do happen. You know, we're not entitled to win any cup, John. But you know, it would have been nice to put in a wee bit more effort in that cup final, if I'm being honest with you. But if it was not to be, it's just not to be.
Well, I don't think Real Hattati would have made a jot of difference, like I say. It's just the Celtic players, every single one of them on the day. Tactically boring, Xander. Horrible to watch. It was lethargic. It was. It's not the Celtic we've been watching all season anyway, you know. I know Celtic's been hot and cold throughout the season, but unfortunately that was one of the cold games we just need to live with, and I think we've all got over it by now. We're happy enough with that league and League Cup doubles, and I'm delighted with that. That'll do me.
Yeah, that's it, John. That's it. Over the moon. All right, John. Players away on international duty, weren't they? They've all come back fine. Absolutely no problem. No extra injuries for us. Sinisalo away with Finland. He's absolutely fine. Schmeichel's away with Denmark. He's fine. Ralston was off with Scotland. Big Scales and Ida were off with Ireland, John. Everybody's returned fine. Even Lewis Palmer, you know, he's returned to Celtic. He was away with Honduras. Returned absolutely hunky-dory. Arthur Johnson was away with Canada. And Tillio's returned to Celtic, John, hasn't he? So he's returned as well, injury-free, John. So all of our international players that were away have all returned injury-free. Bernardo, he was away with under-21s with Portugal, so he's returned also injury-free. No, John, everybody's returned from international duty. They can now enjoy their well-deserved summer rest, John.
Aye, this is it. That's always good news to have your players back uninjured, because international duty is always a big worry. But aye, no, that's good news, Xander. Glad they're all back safe.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right, John. There's nothing really else to talk about. Motherwell got a new manager, haven't they? They've announced a new manager today. Jens Askew, he's their new manager. I've not heard of this boy, Jens Askew, but he's their new manager, John. So that's the merry-go-round, well and truly done and dusted. Everybody has a manager, John, including Motherwell. Jens Askew, John, what do you think of that?
Never heard of him, but good luck to him. I was hoping to see Bruno get in that position, but there you go, it didn't happen. Never heard of him, but yeah, good luck to him. Motherwell, good wee supported team, isn't he? Local team, well supported, and good luck to them with their new manager. Yeah,
that's it, John. I was sort of hoping that Bruni was going to get that job, actually, John. It looks as though he's going to be staying at Ayr United after him saying he was going to have a look at what he was going to be doing for next season with the potential of leaving Ayr United, John. It looks as though he's going to be staying there. I don't know if anybody's came in for Bruni or not, John, but it looks as though we're going to be doing another Bruni watch next season.
Well, it looks like it. We'll always keep an eye on him anyway. As long as he's in Scotland, we'll keep an eye on him. Hope he's doing the best he can.
Yeah, that's it. All right, John, that's it. I'm going to mention the competition very quickly before we go. Excuse me. Competition is a massive 30-player league. Those 30 players enter the league. I know we want off these 30 players as a correct score guess for every Celtic game. You get the correct score, you get 3 points into the league table. Whoever's at the top of the league at the end of the season with the most correct scores wins the league. Simple as that. We need another 15 we need now, John. That was another 2 or 3 that entered. But we're still looking for 14 or 15. I can't remember. Anyway, we still need quite a few. So get your names into the comment section, folks. Just put your name in there with competition entry. That'll be you entered into the competition. And it's to win the fantastic prize. Great prize. Celtic Legends frame prints, Celtic posters, Celtic metal wall plaques, Celtic lighters, Celtic pens, Celtic keyrings, Celtic t-shirts, Celtic football. There's a whole lot of stuff in there, John. A box full of Celtic goodies. Absolutely tremendous. It's all free of charge. You don't even need to pay for the postage. We'll pay for that. Also, you get it delivered to your door if you're the league winner. So get entering, folks. It's free of charge, as I say. It won't cost you a penny. And we're looking for another 14 entries, John. It's a slow burner, this one, John.
Aye, it is, but it's only getting shown to getting broadcast to the the listeners of the podcast just now, once you put it on a shot, like you says, the positions will be filled up in absolutely no time.
Yeah, within 5 minutes, the positions will be. So we're giving the listeners and the viewers the chance first. And I'm going to give it a cut-off date, John, right? I'm going to give it a cut-off date for the listeners and the viewers. You have got to the 5th of July to enter. If you're not entered by the 5th of July, folks, then we need to do a wee short and fill those positions, because we need to get everything sorted. We need to get everything, all the names onto the league table, all that sort of stuff, John. There's a wee bit involved in this, so we need the names in by the 5th of July, folks. So get entering into the competition. As I say, it's free of charge, won't cost you a single penny, and it's an absolutely fantastic prize that's up for grabs. So get entering, folks. Right, John, that's about us. Anything to add before we go?
No, just keep watching the Rumours, see what happens. Hopefully we'll maybe get a wee signing in the door this week, give us something to talk about on the next podcast, because it's tedious, isn't it? All you're talking about is rumours, and how else can you fill your time? There's nothing else to speak about, and we only do this once a week, so because there's absolutely no point in doing a podcast every single day, because what's the point in that, to be honest with you? A podcast every day to talk about the same stuff makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, I don't know where these guys get obviously these guys make money, John. We don't make any money, so they need to do it because that's maybe their income, John. But we don't do this as an income. We do this for fun. Sometimes it isn't fun, but we do it for fun, John. It's just a wee bit of fun for us. It really is. Talking about Celtic, it's absolutely brilliant, John. But no, I don't know where they get the things to talk about, John. And there we've filled, 45 minutes, and that's everything covered for the week, John. That's everything covered. We spoke about the stadium, we spoke about the players, the injuries, spoke about the manager, we spoke about everything. 45 minutes is done. So there's not even any news coming from other clubs either, John. There's nothing happening at the Rangers, John. There's nothing happening over there. There's nothing happening at Aberdeen, Scottish Cup winners Aberdeen, that is. Nothing happening at Hearts, nothing happening at Hibs, John. It's all very quiet, John. So I don't know where they get the stuff to talk about, to be honest with you.
I don't watch it them anyway, but I see it when I'm scrolling through Celtic stuff, podcast after podcast every single day. Don't know, some players get new boots or something like that. Who cares?
I saw a headline the other day. Tierney's injured. Tell us something we don't know.
Kieran Tierney's injured. Well, nobody knew that, I know. I get getting away from that stuff. It is talking about they're doing it for their income. But fair enough. Good play to all the boys doing it. Good luck to them doing their stuff. But there's no need for that stuff every single day of the week when nothing's happening. But speaking of income, I've seen your wee short. You used my idea about the Rangers new song. Aye, Rangers new song about no income tax, no VAT, and all that.
I did steal it actually, John, but we're a partnership. We're allowed to steal each other's ideas.
I just came up with the song. You did the rest. You did the video. It was absolutely brilliant. If you've not seen it, everybody go into the channel and find. Obviously, look through the shots. That's video shots, no Roy Aitken shots or anything. Look through the shots and you'll see that video where James Tavernier's the thumbnail. Watch that. Obviously, there's millions of shots, comedy shots, and all that. Go through them all; they're all brilliant. But that one I really enjoyed. That great job, Sander. Comedy gold.
Yeah, I was actually laughing making it, John, because there's actually, it's over on Facebook, right, John? And there is actually people asking for that to be an anthem, not an anthem, but a song to be sung on the next season, John. So there was quite a few comments asking for that to be no income tax, just EBTs, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to start singing it, but no, John, there's people asking for that, for Celtic fans to be singing that next season. It's quite good. It's quite good, actually. Well,
you've did that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make up an actual song, because I don't know how you got the words in there and all that stuff, because you don't take anything to do with music. You're not a singer, you're not a musician or anything like that. So what I might do is actually make a proper song, put it out there, let the Celtic fans hear it, and we might get that into the Green Brigade.
Yeah, that's it. I'm a member of the Green Brigade clubs over at Facebook, John. Quite a few. I think there's 4 or 5. And you know, I can send it to the boys over there and see what they think of it. Yeah, John, if you could do that, that would be absolutely tremendous, John. That would be brilliant, actually. So we'll get that put on, hopefully pretty soon, John, because there was people asking for it to be sung at Celtic Park as a song, John, because of the lyrics, obviously, and it's a world famous song, isn't it? The Only Fools and Horses outro song, isn't it, John? The outro tune for Only Fools and Horses. So yeah, brilliant. I'm glad you brought that up, John. Right, John, we'll call it a day there, right? And thank you everybody for viewing, watching and listening. Remember to hit that subscribe button as well. We'll catch you through the week or whatever, John. Whenever there's anything happening, John, we'll be back on, John. So we'll see you whenever there's anything happening, buddy.
Speak to you soon, Sander. Hail, mate.
And thanks for doing that with the song, John. I appreciate that. I look forward to that. And we'll catch you all later. Hail for now.